We're just going to talk about the 3 main things that you need to focus on to make sure that when you're losing weight, you are not killing your metabolism, because it's very, very important to keep your metabolism as high as possible, because the lower your metabolism is, the harder it's going to be to lose weight. So first and foremost is going to be the way that you're eating. You want to make sure that you are eating enough. And I know that that is obviously eat more to weigh less is what I talk about, but it's against everything that we've heard in the diet industry. But if you are eating too little, it causes your body to adapt. And when your body adapts, your metabolism lowers to meet the need. So you want to make sure that you're eating enough food to keep your metabolism high enough so that you're losing fat, but not losing the essentials that keep your metabolism revved, which is your muscle mass. So you want to make sure that you're eating enough food, but eating enough food with a proper spread of your macronutrients. So that's going to be like your carbs, your proteins, and your fat. So in your food intake, you want to make sure that you're eating enough food, and in that, enough fiber and enough protein especially. Those 2 things are very what's called thermogenic, which means your body burns calories just digesting them. So it's super, super important that you're making sure that you're eating enough calories. That's going to keep your metabolism revved. And then the type of calories that you're eating includes high amounts of protein and high amounts of fiber, so that your body is just constantly burning because of the types of food that you're eating too. My problem is too much carbs, not enough protein. That is, a lot of people have that problem. So what I like to say is, instead of focusing on the too much carbs part, make sure that the carbs that you are eating have sufficient amounts of fiber. That means that if you're eating a lot of carbs, that's a good chance to get in your fiber. And then add in protein. So instead of focusing too much on what to take away or what you're eating too much of, try to see what you can add to the equation. I want to look my best eating as much as I can. That's what I'm talking about. Was that Teresa? I think that was one of my clients. So she knows we're all about, like, that is the goal for my clients, is making sure that you're able to reach your goals while still eating the highest amount possible, because that's what's going to keep your metabolism high. Remember, if you're eating less, okay, that is Teresa. If you're eating too little, then that means that your body is burning less. So the less amount of calories that you're eating, the lower your metabolism is. So that's going to be tip number 1, is the eats. Making sure you're eating enough, and eating enough protein, and eating enough fiber. How much of a deficit do I recommend? Not more than 15%. That's it. I know there's a lot of calculators out there that will give somebody like a 20, 25, 30% deficit. I don't think that that is necessary in the beginning, because what happens is, as you lose weight, the amount of calories that you need lowers naturally. So if the amount of calories that you need is already lowering, then that means that the intake naturally lowers. So you don't want to start at the absolute minimum, because then you don't have leeway. Give yourself enough time so that as you lose weight and the amount that you need lowers, then it just goes right along with it. So 5, 10, 15% are all usually fine. When you start going more than that, then you're gonna risk losing muscle mass, which is gonna lower your metabolism. And because you're eating less, your metabolism just is gonna lower to meet the need. So again, the first one was eats, making sure you're eating enough, making sure you're eating enough protein, making sure you're eating enough fiber. The second thing is gonna be to lift weights. And some of us are doing this already, some maybe not so much, but lifting weights is key to making sure that you are managing your metabolism properly. Sorry, my notifications are going off on my phone there. So if you are lifting weights, that is going to make sure that you are losing as little muscle mass as possible when you're dieting. You're going to lose so much more muscle if you don't include any lifting than if you were to include some. If you're including some lifting in your routine, then often the percentages can get into like 80, 90% of the muscle mass that you're actually keeping versus what you'd be losing if you don't lift. So you want to make sure that you're lifting. That's going to keep your metabolism super high, and it's going to make sure that all that food and the protein and fiber that you're intaking are going to get use. So make sure that you're lifting, but also the key to lifting for metabolism purposes is making sure that you are lifting at least with the intent of building or maintaining muscle, which means that not every exercise that uses a dumbbell will count. Is that, oh, that's you guys giving information to each other. So yes, so not every single exercise that uses a dumbbell means that it categorizes in the lifting category. Some of those are cardio workouts. Some of those are HIIT workouts, sometimes like a boot camp, or sometimes there's like the body pump classes at gym, things like that. Those tend to range more in the cardio zone. If you're trying to lift for the purpose of building and boosting your metabolism, then you want to lift with a muscle-based focus. So your lifting needs to be with the intent of building or keeping muscle. Hey, Patty! Which means if you are doing super high reps all of the time, that is going to be more cardio-based. Lifting for muscle means that you're changing up the phases periodically, but most of the time you're probably right around like the 8 to 12 rep range. Going too far above that for too long of periods of time, you're moving out of the muscle building territory. You can go up or below that, occasionally, because going below 8 to 12 is going to give you more strength. So you do want to get stronger, because that's going to help you to be able to lift more and be able to build more muscle. And you can go above it every once in a while, because as you build your endurance, that means that when you drop back down to the heavy weights, you can hold on to heavier muscles for longer periods of time. But for the majority of the time, you want to stay right within that 8 to 12 rep range, and you want to lift weights that are challenging you. If you stop at 10 reps, but you could have done 15, then your weight wasn't heavy enough. So you want to be lifting with that intent in mind. So for those of you, I saw a few people just join. Those of you who are just joining, we're talking about the 3 top things that you can stay aware of in order to make sure that you are not killing your metabolism while you're dieting. The first one was eating. You want to make sure that you're eating a sufficient amount, not dropping your calories too low, because if you drop them too low, your metabolism actually drops too. And you want to make sure that your eating includes enough protein and fiber. And your lifting weights is the other big thing. And that's making sure that when you're lifting, when it comes to dieting and making sure that you're not killing your metabolism, you want to make sure that you are lifting with the intent of building and keeping muscle. I want to lift with you too, Trisha. We're going to have to set something up. When are you going to California next month or March? If so, we might have to set something up. And like I said, with the lifting, you want to make sure, okay, we're going to have to do it, that you're in the muscle building rep range. So 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps, something around there, and mixing it up. It doesn't have to stay exactly the same all the time, but make sure you're lifting for muscle. Think muscle. Muscle equals metabolism. Just keep that in mind. And the third thing to keep in mind is time. And if you guys have followed Eat More to Weigh Less for any length of time, you know that that's one of the things that we're always talking about, is give yourself enough time to lose fat properly. When you put yourself on super, super tight deadlines, then you're likely to do something that's a little too extreme, and you're not really focusing on fat loss anymore. Remember, the focus when you're trying to get smaller or look smaller is to lose fat, not muscle mass, because losing fat is going to help boost your metabolism, but losing muscle mass is going to lower it. So if you're focused on trying to get everything done in these super short time spans, then you're probably going to end up losing too much weight, which if you are losing more, we talked Friday about if you're a woman and you're losing more than like a pound a week after the very first week, then it's probably going too fast. And for guys, 2 pounds, so guys are not supposed to lose really more than 1 to 2 pounds a week. So if you're losing super fast, or you're forcing yourself, you're rushing it, then more than likely you are going to start doing some damage to your metabolism, because you're going to do things that are extreme. They're going to be more on the extreme side. So give yourself enough time to diet, but at the same time, you don't want to carry it out for too long without taking breaks. So a lot of times we will recommend diet breaks, and that just simply means that in order to prevent those plateaus and the metabolism lowering, you want to take breaks where you're completely off of dieting for 1 to 2 weeks at a time. And that's going to come every either 4 to 6 weeks, you'll take a week off, or every 8 to 10 weeks, take 2 weeks off. Completely off from dieting, eat at maintenance level calories so that you can remind your body of what maintenance is, so that way it can continue to react when you go back into a deficit. I've enjoyed eating a little more lately. Yay! See? And that is great. And the more energy you have, the more energy you can put into your workouts. You have to make sure that you are taking breaks for that exact purpose. So even when you are dieting and doing it the right way, you don't want to get to the point where you're just dieting for days and days and days on it, and diet breaks, donuts. You can include a donut or two in your diet break if you want, but you could actually have donuts during your diet because of the fact that you have so many calories to lose. As long as you're getting enough protein, you're getting enough fiber, you want to have a donut every now and then, I won't tell. I'll look the other way. So it's all good. Now, making sure that you're giving yourself enough time is just going to be really, really, really beneficial, because if you are trying to do it too quick, you will kill your metabolism. But like I said, if you're going to stretch it out, plan for the diet breaks every like 4 weeks or 8 weeks. Take time completely off from eating less and go back to what your maintenance level calories are. Give your body that reminder of what maintenance is, so that when you go back into the deficit again, it keeps reacting. Do you gain some weight when you take a break? Not necessarily. 3 minutes. My husband has me on a timer, guys. I told you I had to make it quick. So you shouldn't gain weight, and that's the reason why you want to go to maintenance, because you want to remind your body what it is, because that's what typically happens when we do diet for too long. If we diet for long periods of time and then we just start eating normal again, then we gain. But if that happens during your diet break, it's typically going to be temporary, and it's just from having extra food in your system until your body digests it, and then you're fine again. So you shouldn't expect a lot of weight gain or anything like that during your diet break. It's just to give your body time to relax from the throes of dieting. I see my timer going off there. Yes, maintenance calories is not overeating. It's just making sure, sorry, my dogs are getting ready to bark because my son's home and all kinds of timers are going off. So just to wrap that up, you guys, make sure you're giving yourself enough time. And if that extends to, if you're getting into like the 5-6 month mark of dieting, even if you've been doing it absolutely perfect, taking your diet breaks along the way, eating enough, getting enough protein, getting enough fiber, by the time you get to like 20 to 24 weeks, I'd recommend that you take a very long break at that point, because once again, you want to take care of your metabolism. So if you've been going 20 to 24 weeks straight, that's when you want to take more than a month off and eat just at maintenance and focus on maintaining your loss. Because remember, it's not just about losing. If you can't maintain it once you've lost it, then none of it matters, because we want to have permanent fat loss here. So you want to have periods of focus on the fat loss, and then periods of making sure that you can maintain it. And so after going 3, 5, 6 months of just focusing on fat loss, even if you have your diet breaks, take a break. Take up to 12 weeks off completely from dieting and just focus on maintaining. And if you do a great job of maintaining your weight during that time, like you should, then you should be able to go right back into a fat loss phase again and lose fat. And that means that throughout this whole time, you are losing minimal amount of metabolism and muscle mass as possible, which means that your journey is going, it's not going to be as stressful because you're starved the whole time, or you're experiencing all the ups and downs of a slow metabolism. So I hope that helped you guys out. I know a couple of you had questions. If I didn't get to them, you can always tweet me at EM2WL. If not, I will go back and look through these and catch any questions that I didn't get to. Yes, okay. I'm glad that helped you guys. And I'm at EM2WL on Twitter or any social media. You can usually find me or somebody else from Team EM2WL. So if you can't find me, you can go on Facebook, ask Trish a question, or go on the forums, and Anitra will take care of you over there. So hope that helped you guys. And I think my time is up because I don't even see my husband on here anymore. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.